Hi guys, this is a tag ornament video. You get 3 ornaments for the price of 1. We're going to jump right into making the ornament part of the ornament. Cutting these down to 3 3/4 by 6.5. I actually did 6 3/4, but it's supposed to be 6.5. And then I score it at a 3 1/4. So I get kind of a little folded card because it's gonna make a folded ornament. And then I'm using this tag die by Lawn Fawn. So I'm placing it so I get the whole tag, and then I'm carefully kind of putting the tag outside of where the fold is, so that I get a little piece of this card that actually is foldable. As you see there, just outside, inside where the cutting line is, and then I just put my little tape on and I put it through the cutting machine. Also, when I put it through the cutting machine, and this pretty thick cardstock, it didn't do the circle perfectly, so I used my little crocodile to add that hole, and there you see how the ornament works. And to decorate the ornament, I'm going to use this little circle die, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of circle dies on Nina. I'm using Nina 80 paper, 80 pound might be called, paper for all of the ornaments. So I'm having one of those little circle things for the inside, and I'm going to use 2 of them on the outside of this ornament. Also, I am going to use this very cute tree border die, also by Lawn Fawn. I kind of picked out all of my Lawn Fawn stuff. The circle die were from Simon Says Stamp, because I haven't gotten the circle ones from Lawn Fawn yet. But yeah, I'm putting that little border on, and I'm cutting it out with my Big Shot. I use my Big Shot for all my die cutting. I really love it. I'm cutting away that little tree on the end because it was kind of very strange. So I just removed it, and then that is how I want it to look. But we are going to kind of color everything with Copics. That's also one of the reasons why I'm using Nina. But I'm going to use these little sheeps and that Fleece Navidad. But to start out, I'm going to show you how to easily make a straight little sentiment to a bent one. So I'm going to use my packing. I'm putting my little circle die there inside, and then I am taking my little sentiment right side up, so the side where I put my block is upwards and the kind of pressing part downwards, and then I just press it down because it will stick onto the little sheet that you get with the stamps. So I'm just putting it as I want it to be bent, making sure that it stays that way, and then I'm just taking my block and lift it up, and there you have a perfectly bent sentiment. A little tip from me. I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black. All my stamping today is with a Memento Tuxedo Black because that is works with the Copics. Probably not going to color over top of the sentiment here, but I decided that I wanted to get all of my stamping in the same kind of ink. Now I'm going to use that cute little shape, and I'm going to use that little knitting needle and knitting there. So I made myself a little mask with some post-it tape, just stamped it on top and cut it out close to the lines, and then I'm gonna stamp the little sheep on top of it, and this to be able to then put the knitting needles on top of the hands. I'm removing that little mask that I made, and you see I have small spots on the hands that didn't stamp, because there is where I'm putting my little knitting needles. And there you have a knitting little sheep. Another tip I have today is when you want to do shadows on things, you can use a darker gray. I'm using the W5, and then I'm just using 1 green and 1 red. It helps maybe not using that many pens, but also make things go a little bit faster when coloring. I'm going to do a lot of coloring today because I'm not only going to color this, but the other 2 tags, because there are actually 3 tags in this video. That is why the video is so long. I didn't want to make separate videos because it's the same kind of tag. It's just different stamps. So instead I'm making a very long video with 3 tags, so you're getting 3 tags in one video. Hoping you like it. I'm using some of my skin colors for the sheep's skin, but I have decided I only want to use 3. So I'm using the E50, the E00, and the E21 for the sheep's face, because it didn't need more shadowing than that. And then I'm doing the fluffy fur of the sheep by using the W3 as my darkest and just shading all of the little bumps, trying to make it fluffy. And then I'm going with the W1 and then with the colorless blender. The coloring in this video is sped up differently in different parts, because I wanted to talk a little bit about the coloring here and there, and I kind of figured that if I speed it up too much I won't have the time. But here is how you get the fluffy fur. And then I'm gonna color the trees, and I've chosen to color the trees with the same green as in the knitting, and I'm doing very simple coloring, just going over with the G28 over the little trees, and I get green trees without having to fussy cut or glue or anything. For the shadows, I'm making very simple cast shadows on the back side of the trees, and then just makes it a little bit extra fussy on one of the edges, and then going over with the colorless blender over top of it to kind of make it a little bit more fussy. And then we are doing the background. I don't need to color the whole circle because half of it will be covered by that little hill. So I kind of made a line where I wanted to do the coloring, and I'm using 3 pens, and I'm doing it the same way I would do with distressings, having some deeper color at the edges and then going in with one lighter color and then the lightest color in the middle. So you can do this just as easy with the distress inks, but I thought I'd show you how you can do it with Copics today. So it's pretty simple. I'm going in back and forth trying to get pretty good kind of shading, but as it will be covered both by this hill and by the little sheep, I'm not very thorough to remove all the lines. Do fussy cut this little sheep would be much easier using the dies, which I don't have because I don't have them. I have concentrated on trying to fill up kind of more the stamps than the dies, because I really love these stamps and I kind of want to have them all. To put it together, I'm using some tape on the back side, and then I'm using my 2-way SIG glue pen on all of the trees. And all of the gluing I'm doing, when it's close to gluing, I'm using my 2-way SIG glue pen because it's very easy to add. It very rarely builds up on the back side. It has a couple of times now when I'm playing around with it, but usually you don't have to worry about it kind of oozing out because you add such little amounts. Putting a little block on them to help them dry more flat, and then I'm putting a little piece of foam tape on the back side over my sheep, and as it is kind of square, I just put it in the middle, and then I put the sheep in the middle, and you have the kind of front of the ornament done. Take another circle piece, just add it on the inside of my little ornament, and then I'm using my tape runner again to put the little piece on the outside. It gets a little bit crooked, but hey, a little bit crooked, almost right. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of some fluffy yarn that I had left over from knitting a Santa set for my boyfriend. I thought that would be awesome with the Fleece Navidad sentiment. And I'm just getting it through the hole, and then I tie a little knot at the top. So the recipient, I kind of thought I would make my Christmas card this way, so the recipient can hang it in their Christmas tree if they want to. So yeah, little ornament tag. So here's my second tag. I'm not showing how to do the tag because I did it in the beginning of the video. Instead, I'm going to show you the coloring aspect and the stamping of it. This time I'm using another 2 stamp sets of the Lawn Fawn stamp sets. All of the stamp sets I'm using are in the description below and on my blog, so if you want to see them, and there are links to all of the stamp sets also, if they have them in the stores that I'm linking to. I'm using some G28 as the darkest, and then G43 and 46 as my lighter color for my Christmas tree. I'm doing a lot of simple coloring. I wanted to be able to do tags that wouldn't take me so long to do, so that I can make them for all of my friends and family. I'm coloring my little fox here in reddish browns. I haven't gone for that really orange fox. I wanted to have a little bit more muted brownish fox, and around all the images I'm adding kind of a grey haze to make them stand out a little bit from that white cardstock. I'm also stamping up a whole bunch of these ornaments. I'm actually coloring like 3 candy canes, 2 bells, and I'm also stamping up a little star. But I'm only going to use 1 star, 1 bell, and 2 candy canes, I think, because that was all that fitted on the tree. But I'm doing that fun shading where I'm just using the W5 and place the shadings, and then I'm just coloring the red parts. And then I have a fully shaded candy cane. When it comes to my bells, I'm using 3 different yellow colors, and I'm sorry, at the end of making these videos I kind of started holding the lids in my hands instead of putting them down, but all of the pens used for these different images are also in the description down below. Again, I'm using my 2A glue pen and my tweezers to add all the little details to the little Christmas tree, which I thought was very little and lovely. And I'm picking like a lot of different stamps from different stamp sets, so as I said, the list will be down below. I don't really remember which is which right now. But for this, I decided to use some of the golden glitter twine for the little hanging piece, little string to hang it with. Also, I decided not to add the little white circle in the middle. Instead, when you're using dark cardstock, like I'm using for this is Simon Says Stamp Midnight cardstock. You can actually write with a little white gel pen. I love the Jelly Roll white pens, or the Uniball white pens also. So yeah, now for the third and final little ornament. I'm gonna use this, I don't know the name of it right now at the top of my head. Sorry, English isn't my first language, and sometimes words just mantelpiece. It might call mantelpiece. To on the circle, stamp that on the circle, and then I'm stamping a little sentiment. Let's be merry. It's from the same sentiment. I might say this card is actually with the same stamp set. All of the different parts are from the same stamp set. And I am stamping the different little socks onto some scrap paper. So when I have cut out the circles, I actually saved all the little scraps, and I am stamping all of my little things on those scraps, kind of making use of all the paper. Kind of wanted to have a little bit more in that circle, so I'm adding that little fire, but just the kind of edges of the fiery hair in the circle. Again, I'm using my W5 for the shading. It is so simple, so I kind of felt I just continue doing that all over my little sock. And then I'm going to use the G46 and the G43 to do the green parts. So I'm using the same pens for all of the cards, even though I'm using a lot of different stamp sets. For the white part on the sock, I'm using W3 1 and this colorless marker to blend it out, and then I'm using the W5 and the R37 for the red again. I'm using the same yellows for the fire as I used for the bells and the star. I think, however, I'm using the YR16 as the deep orange in the fire. And then I'm using my E15, 19 and 17 for that mantelpiece fireplace. Maybe it's a fireplace that I was after. Trying to give a little bit of dimension to all of those bricks, but really simple coloring. That's the whole idea behind it, is simple coloring to be able to make the whole amount of cards and tags that I want to be able to send out to my friends this Christmas. We'll see if I have the time, and we'll see if I actually get them sent out, but hopefully I do. I have a tendency to not get them out in time, but hopefully I will get them out in time. But yeah. And to finish it off, I'm doing a very simple background. I'm using my W5, 3 and 3 for the kind of wall behind the fireplace, and then I'm using the 5, 3 and 1 in the middle, trying to keep it light just where I put the sentiment, so that the sentiment is still readable even though I have colored the whole circle with different colors. So that is also one thing I'm trying to make sure, that when I have a sentiment, it is fully readable and easy to see. So it's how I'm trying to make everything sort of blended out. Put small pieces of 3M foam tape on the stockings that I then place hanging from the mantelpiece. That is how it is. The top part is the mantelpiece and the bottom part is the fireplace. Yeah, just putting them up there on my little ornament middle, and then I'm just adding it onto my ornament, again using the Midnight cardstock by Simon Says Stamp. This time I'm using a little white piece in the middle to be able to write something for the recipient. And for the final part of it, I'm using the red glittery lawn fawn trimmings for the string of this ornament. And that is the video for today, and this was all of the 3 different ornaments. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please thumbs it up, it means a lot to me. If you have any questions, just comment down below where you find all the other things also. Here are 2 other videos in my Happy Holiday series. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you later. Bye!